The galactic center is located at 26 degrees Sagittarius. And we are there now. In the heart of consciousness, beyond the realm of space and time, the cosmic power of transformation is upon us, here in the galactic center. It's a mystical adventure and a better way to live. Finding harmony and balance in a journey to the light that lies within. So let the psychic cruise begin. Release your mind, unwind the time. Welcome to the galactic center. And we've just beamed into Life. Life is a club downtown on Bleecker Street. We're here for a fundraiser this evening called An Evening in Tibet, and it's sponsored by the Nechung Foundation. A sand mandala is a painting of a pure land. This particular one is the Buddha land of compassion, the Avalokiteshvara, and this is Renshin to tell us about it.
Well, Buddha of compassion is a very important Buddha. It's an emanation of all Buddhas, compassion, and Avalokiteshvara is the one. And Dalai Lama is the reincarnation of Buddha of compassion. So we build this for special purpose in order to cultivate love and compassion for ourselves and for all sentient beings.
Renshin, can you describe a little something exactly? What are we looking at here in this gorgeous painting?
Okay, as I told you, this is the Zen Mandala, or the divine palace for the Avalokiteshvara. So in the middle we can see the his syllable that symbolize or represent our Buddha of our compassion, or Avalokiteshvara. Then we have his mantra, his holy mantra, like Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum literally means jewel in lotus, but it also means compassion and wisdom, the two principal paths of Buddhism. So it talks about how to achieve enlightenment through this path or method and wisdom.
Now, this particular mandala that you're creating this one just for this evening's event, which is a fundraiser. So it's only going to have a lifespan of about 3 hours. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
And then you have the dissolution ceremony.
That's right. Yeah, we start this ceremony in the beginning. First we did the ceremony for the Zen Mandala, and then we started creating the Zen Mandala, and we try to finish a complete ceremony. Zen Mandala, although it is not much that detail, we cannot go in one day. And then in the end we will do the dissolution process, and we'll end the ceremony.
of course, the beauty of the dissolution process is to illustrate the impermanence of life.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So it's like this life is changing. Everything is changing from moment to moment. So this is the what significance. We work very hard, and in the end of the ceremony, then we dissolve it.
So this particular work in progress is all about being in the now, and then later we'll be filming the dissolution ceremony where all the blessings will be released right here in downtown Manhattan.
So anyway, this was how this affected the Tibetan spiritual religious government, which was really a marvelous invention. People say theocracy, but it is not a theocracy at all, because the Tibetans don't believe in God. They believe in deities, but really they believe in Buddha, so it was a Buddhocracy. It was a completely unique and marvelous mechanism that we're just beginning to understand. And this tonight, I'm very happy to see all of you here at this benefit and supporting the Nechung Monastery is such a very cherished and dear institution of the Tibetans. Absolutely amazing and marvelous thing, a treasure of humanity. Showing how Buddhism sort of, although it's a kind of transcendental religion where people, and philosophy and way of life, where people seek to attain total evolutionary sort of off-planet awareness, higher awareness, yet it goes right through the culture, right to the most deep sort of ancient rituals and deities.
This is author and Professor Robert Thurman, Professor of Tibetan Buddhism at Columbia University.
Yes.
And also, you may not know this, but you were actually the first American ordained Tibetan monk in Dharamsala back in the 60s, yes?
That's true, yes. For a couple of years, I lived as a monk for about 4 years and was ordained for about 2 years in the early 60s.
That must have been very exciting.
It
Can
was
you tell
very
us about
exciting.
that?
Yeah, well, it was great fun. It was a great privilege to get to know the Tibetans when they were just out of, just freshly in exile, and they were sort of new to the West and new to the world. And I was a wanderer of the 60s. Prior to the 60s, actually, I went out there in 61 and looking for meaning or so on, and I found that in abundance with the Dalai Lama and the other great Tibetan teachers.
The meaning of life, as we are here at Life Club this evening.
All right.
Can you tell us about tonight's fundraiser?
Yes, well, tonight is a wonderful event. One of the important Tibetan monasteries is the Nechung Monastery, which is the seat of the state oracle of Tibet. And also, it was right next to Debra Monastery, which is the largest monastery in the world in Tibet. And it was reestablished by His Holiness because of the oracle and because of the special arts of the Nechung monks. And it is a monastery dedicated to the propitiation of a kind of ancient deity of Tibet, sort of like the Odin of Tibet or something like that, And but the Odin is a Buddhist. The deity himself is a Buddhist, so it isn't any sort of like anything too wild and crazy,
And the Avalokiteshvara, of course, His Holiness the Dalai Lama.
Avalokiteshvara, and this deity Pehar, which is the name of the Nechung deity, is the protector and the sort of minister, helps Avalokiteshvara and protects the country and helps the people and gives them advice, and it's a very marvelous institution.
Which they need a lot of right now, a lot of help and advice.
They do. Well, the monastery itself needs help. The other thing about the Nechung Monastery is that they have a very amazing artistic tradition. The butter sculpture that they do, and the
butter sculpture.
Yeah, they do
I'm not
tremendous
familiar
sculptures.
with that.
Well, you should film it. Actually, they have one over at the other across the room, and they do, of course, mandalas like other monks do. And then their particular specialty is silk applique tankas. They make those Tibetan icons, but out of cloth. And they're very famous for their applique tankas.
Just to talk a little bit about Buddhism and
Yes.
the Four Noble Truths.
Oh, really?
And here we are, of course, at Life club,
Right.
and the Buddha had said that all life is suffering, his first noble truth.
Right. Well, I wouldn't phrase it that way exactly. Actually, if you really get to his intention, what he said was,
All unenlightened
"Oh,
life
good for
is
you.
suffering.
That's right. Unenlightened life."
Yes.
Because the whole point of the Four Noble Truths is not just to rub our nose in suffering, but to indicate that there's a way of living that we can easily adopt by changing our consciousness and becoming a little bit enlightened, and then we can be happy. So
Well-
Buddha's real message was that we can be happy if we become enlightened.
I love what you have to say about the mind. I'm always saying on our show that one of the main things that you have to do is rethink your thoughts,
Yes.
rethink yourself, and not be
Yes.
controlled by them, but
Right, that's
learn to
right.
control them.
Master your own thoughts and not be hypnotized by them. Correct, exactly.
Getting rid of programming
Right,
and getting to our
right.
infinite number of universes.
Well,
that's
the
another
thing to
one
do.
that I
Yes,
love.
yes. And the monks and the traditions, the artistic and the teaching traditions of Nechung Monastery are very helpful and very remarkable in this regard.
What can you tell us in daily life? What are some of the practices that you would recommend to sort of help us out and stay on the path as we are here in frenetic New York City and in our
Right.
daily lives?
Well, try to be sort of calm and not get too worried about things. I guess the best advice I can think of in daily life is from Shantideva, one of His Holiness's favorite verses, which is, why worry about something if you can do something about it? Just do it. And then why worry about something if you can't do anything about it? Just forget about it.
Or don't worry,
so
be
don't
happy.
worry. Yeah, well, no, but a little more
Don't worry.
precise. Don't worry, do something. Or if you can't,
Just
don't worry anyway.
Right, right.
So that's the best advice, I think, in our daily life. One of them. And practice contentment, and don't waste time, because human life is very precious, and we lose our lives very soon. They don't last that long. And we can do such amazing things with our brain and our human mind. And we can change ourselves so much during a human life that we surely shouldn't waste time, frittering it away to make money or to do things that will be buried with our bodies, which will be buried.
Well, we're here
That's
to
very important.
we're here to evolve. That's
What?
all. We're here to evolve. We are
To evolve, that's right.
we are
exactly,
here creating
exactly,
ourselves.
exactly.
We are the creators
That's why
of
the Tibetan
ourselves.
culture, so many people are monks and nuns, and it isn't really that they're against pleasure or against life, it's that they don't want to waste time with all kinds of, problems of maintaining a household or doing all that. It's like a lifelong scholarship to study and try to evolve. And of course, some people need to be in the lay life to evolve. Not everyone is a monk or nun, but it's why it's so popular with the Tibetans.
Well, we each have our own particular way of
Yeah.
evolving.
We do, yeah.
For me, it's to do this TV show. It's my way.
Oh, good.
So it's
That's very good.
It's
Well,
my life
why
work.
do you do the TV show? Why do you do that?
Because for me, it's bliss.
It's what?
It's my state of bliss.
Oh, it's bliss for you, but why is it bliss for you?
I haven't figured that one out yet. I just know I love doing it. It's a good time. It's fun. I enjoy
Right.
shaking people up out of
see, that's
normal
why.
consciousness.
Yeah, because
and I'm
you're
shaking
educating
myself
people.
up.
You're
Oh,
like-
definitely.
And you're learning by teaching them. That's correct. It's like being a teacher to do. If you're properly doing TV, if you're just doing it for fame and profit, then it won't help. But if you do it as a way of helping beings, then any art actually is a very high thing to do in Buddhist view.
Well, you haven't seen any of our shows yet, but they're all about
Oh, good.
evolvement,
Well, I hope to
spirituality,
see
yoga.
some. I
Yes.
hope to see some one of these days.
That would be great.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One more question.
Yes.
Now, science has
Yes.
proven the void. Science has proven emptiness with quantum
Yes.
mechanics. Do you
Yeah.
think it will prove reincarnation?
Well, I think it already has if people were open to the evidence. But many scientists who are dogmatically materialistic don't examine the evidence, they just dismiss it out of prejudice, which is not very scientific.
No.
So I think science long ago proved reincarnation or rebirth absolutely as a natural thing, very commonsensical thing. As far as whether science did or didn't prove the void, I think it's confirmed the Buddhist view of the void, but I don't think many scientists would interpret the evidence yet to really mean exactly what Buddhists mean by the void. But they're getting there, but it isn't quite the same yet.
Many undiscovered dimensions
That's right.
to get into
That's right.
for us as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, support Nechung Monastery. Everybody supports Nechung Monastery, studies in it, and we train the monks to speak more English. People study more with them. Then I send our scientists to study with them somewhat. Then
that
I
would
think
be great.
Then I think they will definitely come around to the view of voidness probably sooner or later.
Robert
Okay.
Thurman, thank you so much.
Thank
I'll
you
let you
very
get
much.
back to
My
life.
pleasure.
This is Lisa, one of the volunteers this evening. Can you tell us where will the proceeds be going from tonight's event?
Yes, well, the fundraising efforts are directed towards helping the Nechung monastic community in Dharamsala, India, as well as recently arrived Tibetan refugees who need medical attention. And a long-term goal of the foundation is to establish educational and medical facilities in some of the more remote regions of Tibet.
Which we now finally have access to, yes?
Yes, exactly. Some access.
Some, not enough, but some. Now, I understand that the Chinese are doing some excavations, a lot of mining in Tibet. And I'm wondering about that, if it's really going to have an impact on the environment. Perhaps some of our environmental associations can get behind trying to stop this.
Well, I think it's probably very difficult for our environmentalists to get behind it to try to stop it. But yes, I mean, deforestation and mining and all kinds of industrialization that had previously not gone on in Tibet have been instigated by the Chinese and are really changing the landscape of Tibet very dramatically.
Now, behind us as we speak, you have some items that are being auctioned off. Is there anything that we should know about?
Well, there's some really wonderful items, actually, and most notably we have 3 items donated by fashion designers. Todd Oldham has donated a beautiful beaded dress.
Where's that one? I didn't see that one.
Way back in the corner over there.
They're hiding that one.
It's on a mannequin, you can't miss it. Okay. And also there's a beautiful Manchurian princess wool coat by Yo Li Tang. And Han Feng, who was named new fashion designer of the year, has donated a handbag, a silk and leather handbag, which is really lovely also. And Richard Gere signed his new book, Pilgrim, which is also for sale.
And I noticed a wonderful, nice, warm hat that looked interesting.
Yes, indeed. Actually, that's made by a local Tibetan artist named Pelge Keldon.
Someone told me about a butter sculpture that I'm still looking for.
It's actually back in the corner in the gallery, and the butter sculpture is in fact made of butter that's been colored and formed into these beautiful floral patterns.
Is that yak butter?
No. It's actually more like Crisco, I'm afraid. But
okay, let's go take a look at that. This fantastic piece of art, this sculpture that we're looking at, is actually made out of butter. It is a butter painting, and this is Geltsin. To tell us about this butter painting, how long did it take you to make this?
It's 2 months. We took 2 days for butter sculpture. I suppose it should be better, but something's missing, you know. Because
no, it's gorgeous.
We took on the Cape, so it's a little bit shaken up.
And what is the spiritual significance of the butter painting?
The butter painting, butter sculpture is an offering for the deities and Lord Buddhas. So this is one part of the offering from the butter. Actually, there's a lot of different kind of, from body, speech, and mind. So this is how you get the energy to make something an offer from meditation.
So normally you would make this in the monastery and then you would meditate on it, yes?
Yeah, that's right.
Is this another pure land?
I don't know about that. I don't know that.
So what is the significance of the main picture, the 2 fishes and the wheel?
You can read from there. It's a 8 species symbol. It's a lotus. On the top it's endless knot, then wheels, Dharma wheels, then golden fish, then Victoria banner, and the umbrella and the conch.
And this is Lopsang, a Tibetan athlete, world champion, and personal bodyguard to the Dalai Lama. Do you want to tell us about that experience? Wasn't he recently here and you were working with him?
Yeah, he was here and he was very, it was an honor just being close to His Holiness, and it was an amazing experience as a Tibetan, It was very positive, very amazing.
Has he changed over the years?
Yeah, I think so. It's a very hard question, but
Well, you're personally close to him, so I'm just wondering personally, how much has he changed?
I'm close to him by heart. Everything. I mean, all the Tibetan people are close to him. I mean, say, but he's. I guess. I mean, say he's. He's been up there since he was born. He's amazing. You know, as the film Kundan says, which means in presence of a very high one.
Now, how is it for you as a Tibetan living here in New York?
It's very good because New York's the mosaic of cultures. You know, a lot of people, different people are here, and now I'm pretty. I feel good that there are a lot of Tibetans here. When I first came here, there weren't that many Tibetans.
So you felt a lot of alienation from your homeland.
Yeah, in some ways, you know. But always,
painful experiences in your past?
Yeah, you know, all Tibetan people have painful experience. Like we lost everything, you know, in Tibet, and then we had to escape to India, and it's a fiasco out there, you know.
Do you think that you will ever have your homeland again?
See, we hope for the best. No? I mean, see, if it is positive, I really do so, because as the Chinese are realizing that they can't hide the truth no more.
Well, that's what tonight's evening is about, is the truth, wisdom, and compassion, as we saw in the beautiful mandala. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you, everybody.
And this is Pema, and he just did the overseeing of the dissolution ceremony, which this wonderful sand that was the beautiful mandala is now going to be cast into the East River in a gesture of blessings to release peace on a global scale, yes?
Yes, true. Because this mandala, we built it in the form of Buddha of Compassion mandala. So it has a power to generate compassion and wisdom within the beings. And also we throw this in the water, all the living beings who live in the water, whenever they had this sands or it's whatever it goes to them, it will generate their compassion and a better rebirth in the future life.
For all of us, not just the beings in the water, hopefully.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
That's all over. We pray a whole universe, not only the America, not only Tibet. We call whole mother sentient beings.
All sentient beings, definitely. So it's not just about China and Tibet. This is about finding world peace, love, wisdom, and compassion on a global level. It's been a wonderful evening here tonight. Good luck to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Be sure to catch upcoming shows of the Galactic Center. We'll be giving you full coverage of the New Life Expo, the latest breakthroughs on brain food, and find out about how you may be ionically challenged. So here's to a little heaven on earth. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.
For information, make contact with the Galactic Center.